Okay, now we're gonna do the switch. So I cut my wire. Let me get my needle nose. Cut these, break these little things in the back. But it has these little plastic things on the back side. You just get the needle nose, hit it, and it breaks them off. That way I can get the cable in. Small, I can use these regular wire nuts and get 2 wires on there. Hold it, nail it down, it's done. Okay, so I got my 2 wires coming in. Here's my wire going to the source. I'm gonna measure, I don't need more than that. Cut my wire. This is called the Romex connector, so it's protecting it. One is protecting it and the other is going to hold it. You got the screwdriver. Tighten it down right there. That is so I can make my connections to tie in the breaker. Okay, so we're doing the switch. Okay, so again, brought my wire across. I got 6 inches of wire in the box. I stapled the box. The box was already nailed. I stapled my wire. Now I have to strip the insulation off the wire. Okay, like I said, I like to use my hot bill. Peel the insulation off, peel the paper off. Never get your hand underneath because you ended up cutting your hand. Okay. Again, these projects shouldn't be attempted on your own unless you're in front of a qualified, something you shouldn't do. Now, I should have given you this warning in the last video. But this should only be attempted when you're in front of somebody that is qualified to tell you how to do it. Okay, whether he's a journeyman electrician, your instructor, a contractor, anybody that is qualified to be there and help you through the steps. Because the last thing you want to do is do something wrong and cause a fire. That's why we have codes. Okay, so first thing, because I have these wires, I have to connect them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my 2 grounds, I'm going to twist it together a little bit. Okay. I'll get my diagonal cutters. I'm going to cut one off because I have 2 wires. I have 2 wires, but there's only 1 green screw. Okay, on the receptacle, same thing. Okay, there's only 1 green screw. So I have to tie them together so they don't fall apart. We have to do one of 2 things. Okay, I can use, this is a green wire nut, I can stick it over the top. It has a hole, one side comes on, and twist it on. Now I got the connection between my 2 wires. Okay, the other is a crimp, like this. And then in my tool it has a little part right here. So I would put this on right here, bring my wires through it, and then squeeze down on the wires so that makes a tight connection. So you can use either or both when you're making your ground. Okay, you have to have something that makes sure that that connection is not going to fall apart and come apart. So we have to have a irreversible, we have to have a connection that's going to be continuous on that ground. The ground has to be continuous. That's why I put the wire in it. I could have used one of these also. this green wire nut that I use, they come in a variety of sizes. Okay, so here's a yellow, here's a red, and here's a yellow. Okay, so if you notice, these three have a wing on them, so you can grab it, just the comfort, so you can turn it around and turn it. Okay, so in the book, in the PDF, I call them wire caps. In the field, we call them wire nuts. And these are wing nuts because they have the wings on them. Okay, this one is also a wing nut because it has them down here. These are designed for when you're using it outside when you have water. And again, and they get different. So these are round. Again, here's my red, here's my yellow. Instead of a brown, tan one, I have an orange one, and a little blue one, and I have a little gray one. Okay, these are called barrel because they're like a little barrel. Okay, so these are just wire nuts. Okay, they're just different wire nuts, different manufacturers, and they come in different styles. Let me get one of these wire cap wire nuts. Okay, I used one on the green, and if you notice on our switch has one green screw, and it has two brass screws. It has two brass screws. Okay. So we're going to have one black that goes on one brass and another black that goes on the other brass. Okay, that's how a single pole works. So it goes from one to the other. As we turn it on, it makes contact, and the wire, the power comes in from one side, goes to the other side, the lead goes and comes up. So my white, I have to have it continuous to get to that one. So again, let me get it. No strippers. You can use these. One is one over the other. Strip off about ½ inch. Because this is not that long. These are designed that I can just, without twisting them, I can turn it on. Okay, without twisting them, I can twist it on. Okay, that's the way they're designed. But if you want, I was taught long ago that we get our alignment pliers and we twist the wires. Then put a wire cap on. Doesn't matter. Personal preference. Whichever way you want. We're going to get it, push it back into the box. Okay. So, yeah. 3/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch. My nail loaf. Made my hook. Made my hook. Right, green screw, bare wire. Let that put a little too open. No problem. Readjust it. And then I got two black wires and I got two brass screws. It really doesn't matter which one I put on which one. I always like to put my power in on top. If you look at the switch, on one side it says on, the other side says off. When I go to the top it says on, so that means that this one is my top screw. I'll put my power there. But if you do it the other way around, there's no problem. It really doesn't matter which wire goes where. Again, whichever way you learn it, and whichever way you remember it, that's all that matters. Okay. Nice and tight, put it in, Get my wires. Make sure my ground's to the side. My ungrounded's up to the other side. Push it back in the box. That started there. That started there. Use it the lazy man's way. I got my receptacle and my switch in. Grab my cover. The cover for my receptacle. Put my cover on. My screwdriver. Don't use a cordless tool when you're putting these on because they can break real easy. So we want to protect it from breaking. My switch cover. Dirty, but it'll work. Screw in place. It's warm today. Get up to 100 degrees. Good already. A little bit of a breeze blowing. But there. Okay. So when you look at the switch, when it's in the off position, the switch will say off. When you click it up, it says on. If you ever put a switch in backwards, it tells you put it in backwards. Because you'll be turning it around, and when you go to turn it on, it says no. Okay, so it always tells you it's upside down. Always remember is when you're doing these is a project, grab the trash, that I'm doing in the comfort of my home to show you. This is something that you could probably do. Going into this panel, I do not recommend. The only person that goes into this panel, and this is in one of the OSHA codes, is the person that is qualified. So the only person that goes into this panel is someone that is qualified. I don't have a cover on. Okay, when the cover goes on, it's called a dead front. Okay, it's called a dead front. Why is it called a dead front? Because you can get dead if you go in the back and you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so always remember that. Dead front, you take the panel cover off, you could kill yourself, electrocute yourself, and die. It doesn't take a lot to kill you. If you were in my regular class, you would already, by the time we got to this point, we would have gone. Because this is an IET summer class. It's only a simple thing on add the receptacle, wiring the switch, and the next is talking about the use of contact, how to turn the breaker on and off, and how to use a contact tester and a non-contact tester and a receptacle tester. Okay, thank you. See you on the next video. All right.